ever felt like Where's Waldo? I feel like that. Like Where's Robin? So it's pretty obvious tonight. But
Yeah, you popped in. You popped in last minute, but you made it.
yep, yeah, I had to go to Terre Haute, which isn't that far. It's like 45 minutes from here. But the place I needed to get some stuff, pick up some material that we're working on the house, but they only had like 3 or 4 of what I needed. So I had to go to the other Menards, which is like 20 miles south, 20 minutes
Oh
south of
man,
there. So, and then it's a little longer to get back. So it's like crap. Then the interstate had traffic going on. So
yeah,
yeah, it was fun.
you
So
made it though. You made it.
yeah, so I gimped in here, and I told you what I did, didn't I?
What's
Or
that?
maybe I didn't. Did I tell you what I did Saturday?
No.
Oh yeah. Well, I we were we took down the light poles out here
Hmm.
where we did the electrical. So I thought, hey, let's put them on the other side of the house to hold the rock in place. So Eric he was on the tractor and he picked up the light pole, which is probably I don't know 30 feet, 40 feet tall pole, and
Yeah.
so it's pretty good size. I mean, it's probably got a base of about 18 to 24 inches, something like that. And he had it up on the tractor on the forks without any problem. Then he was backing up to turn around, and as he did, the forks tilted down, and it rolled off the forks, and I had no idea it did that, and it took me out from behind. So,
Oh
so
man.
yeah, it rolled over my leg, and yeah,
Ah,
so
you
it's been
okay?
like yeah, I mean, nothing's broke. In fact, it's kind of sad when you're sitting there playing EMT. Like they're like, "Let me help you up." I'm like, "Wait a minute, let me palpate my leg to make sure I don't feel anything broken any place." And
Yeah.
so I'm checking my leg for breaks and everything, and yeah, it's not. But I've been gimping around. I felt like I was a turtle. I'm crawling up the stairs the other day because I couldn't walk up the stairs, just normally because it was like I was just going to go out on me. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, taking the stairs and my hands in the stairs, going up the stairs. So in the house. But so this was supposed to be my good time to work week, and get over here and get some things done. But
Yeah.
since they're working on the bathroom stuff and all the wire stuff, so yep,
Sounds
actually
like
I did make it back, so barely, but I got back. So
it sounds like you're turning more and more like me, like having to try to crawl upstairs. And do I need to send do I need to send crutches over to you? Or
yeah, some of your prosthetic just in case, will you? So,
yeah,
just in case I
yeah,
need, I can hook it
just
onto my knee or something.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got
But
saws out there, so
yeah, no, I have plenty of that. I can cut about anything. I got chainsaws and everything else, and nothing else will let Eric play with me, and he'll take off part of whatever I need. So not a problem.
yeah.
So what's new and exciting with you?
Not much. Busy as usual here. It's getting busier and busier. I had a group Saturday night, had a group last night, got a group Thursday, got a group Saturday night, and
Oh wow.
it's just yeah, it's getting busy. It's that time of year, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we're starting to get the people calling about tours and everything, wanting tours in October because that's the only time that you can look for ghosts. And so,
Yeah,
and then they're going to want to do a tour, and they're going to spend 2 hours in here walking around, waiting for the ghost to jump out and dance for them or something. And like that's not going to happen. Sorry, but you know, it,
yeah,
uh, yeah, it's always fun when you go to Google reviews and you look at the stuff and like I spent 2 hours in there and I didn't see anything. It's like, sorry. And they
yeah,
say they just steal your money. Is all they're doing. There's no ghosts there. It's like it's not a freaking zoo, dude. It's like
yeah, yeah.
we
Can't
don't have
make
them in
me.
a cage with the name on the side of the wall. But who it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe
It's
that's what we should do. Maybe we should put the name of a ghost on the side of the door and just say they're in this room. Oh, you can't see
Casper's in
them?
this
They're
room.
right over there in the corner. You don't see them?
Casper's here in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Casper the
But,
friendly ghost. Yep, yep. But yeah, I
but yeah,
mean, it's been busy though. I mean, and in here in a couple weeks on October 1st, we have the next public investigation, which we still have tickets for. That runs from 6 to 2, and then of course October 29th. People need to get the tickets for this. What Robin's showing you on the screen right now. Tickets are selling. We've sold the majority of the tickets. There's still some left though. You get to investigate both locations, one price. You're also helping the charity and stuff out. So get those tickets. It's a rare occasion that we're doing an event with two locations. Normally it's just us here at Rhodes Hotel, but we're teaming up with Asher Walton House down the street, and going to do an event together. So yeah, it's a good time to buy tickets to the public investigation, especially for this one.
Yeah, tickets are. I mean, they're only selling 20 tickets, and you're going
Yeah.
to split that between two locations. So you're only going to have 10 people in
Yep.
each of the locations at one time. So
Yep.
it's going to work out a pretty good deal. You're going to spend what's that, 8 hours basically there at those two locations. So you'll spend about 4 hours in each location.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good price, pretty good thing. Chance to see both locations and with a small group of people. So
Yeah. Yep.
why not? That's the thing to do is just jump in on that. So
yeah, and the cool thing is like you don't have to drive to each location. I mean, you literally walk. I mean, a couple hundred feet.
it's just the end of the block. I mean, each location's on the opposite end of a block. There's an alley that goes in between there, but that's it. And it's an old alley. But yeah, there's you can look out the porch and see each one. You kind of wave at each other down the road. So
yeah. I mean, there's an alley and a house in between the two locations. So
yep.
Yeah, it's not far.
Not to be outdone with your two.
Yeah.
We're actually doing two out here. So
you've got some busy stuff coming up.
Yeah, we're going to do the. We got this. This isn't until November, but we do have Kids Day coming up October 1st. That's sold out, so we won't even talk about that. You can't get tickets. Don't even call me. Don't send me a message. Don't send me an email. Don't tell me you know somebody. You know somebody. You know somebody. And don't buy them from the scammers that are out there trying to sell tickets to it. So, but get these tickets because this is a pretty good deal here. You can investigate. It's a double header. You can do a daytime or a nighttime investigation. It's the first time these guys have ever done it. I think it's the first time that most places have ever done it. You can investigate during the day or the night. It's $89 for the day, $89 for the night, or you can do them both for $149. Because, as Mike says, I'm such a sweetheart. So, but yeah, that's what he said in the video. We all know that's not true, but he'll do anything to sell tickets. So, but yeah, that's going to be a good time out here at Ashmore. Those guys have been out here. They were out here, I think it was in April or May, and they on their way home they called me and said, "Man, we need another date. We need another date to come out there sometime this year." I'm like, "Well, November's the only time." So they decided to book that, and then they said, "Let's try that double header deal and see how that goes." So it's going well. So we're looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Yep.
But
all kinds of stuff coming up.
Yeah. Other than that, that's about it for us out here and all. So
yeah.
Just work on the house this week. I'm going to. They're working on the plumbing, and I'm working on some electrical stuff, and so keeping busy all week. Plus doing the insurance business, and then booking investigations and tours, and so I have different hats I got to wear at different times.
Yeah. Man, we're so boring tonight. You can hear the crickets.
They're bad, aren't they? Hey guys, knock it off, will you?
Yeah, knock it off.
I did have somebody one time told me that we have ghost crickets. So they told me that they were down in the boiler room, and they said that the crickets were in the boiler room, and they would ask questions, and the crickets responded to them. That's kind of what I did too. Yeah, okay. It wasn't a roll the eye type thing, but it was close. And but yeah, so they said that we've asked questions down there, and we're asking is Joe in this room? If he's in this here room, can you make some noise for us? And it's like the cricket would make noise, and it stopped, and we'd ask another question, and it would make noise. And like, okay, so yeah, that's interesting.
Before we bring Dan and Connie on, I got to tell you this real quick because this is a first here. This lady had a 2022, it was an SUV, and they were here doing a full overnight. And at some point, she had if I remember exactly how she told me this, her key fob was in her backpack, in the side of her backpack. So she was walking around with a car alarm goes off. So she shuts it off, puts key back in, it goes off again. So then she gets key, and so finally she just lays it on the table, sitting there by itself. It went off 4 more times, and she kept turning it off. And it seemed like right before all this happened, there was something that happened in the hotel. I don't remember exactly what that was, but the interesting thing, here's the weird part. she had 6 notifications on her smartphone, and like let me tell you what this said. Let's see. I gotta remember exactly how this was, like what it said on there, but when she looked at the notifications on her phone, it said we received a rear occupancy alarm from your 2022 Tucson. Somebody was in the back seat setting it off. So
Nice.
yeah, that was the first time I've heard that one. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. And I told her, I was like, maybe contact the dealership. Maybe there's something with the sensors. There's a recall or something. And she's like, actually, I've had the car for a year. The only time it's ever went off was when she had the dog in the back seat and she had to run in to get something and then come back out to the car and leave. That's the only time it's ever been triggered saying that. So I'm like, okay. So who knows?
Yep, that's weird.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was crazy.
I mean, we didn't have anything like that this weekend, but we had a 3-eyed demon, according to one of the guests here. So yeah, a 3-eyed red-eyed demon, I guess it was. So yeah, so
Wow,
something new, and exciting, So that's okay.
yeah, yep. First time for everything, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
The Zach's demons came back. So, well, I think we should bring Dan and Connie in here if I can.
Yeah. Before we bore them and hear more crickets. And
yeah, really. Wait a minute. Make sure they're both. Yeah, they're still awake. Okay, so I can see that they're still awake. So let's get them in here. Saw that, Connie.
Hello.
What's going on?
How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Connie, your mic, is it on?
Oh, we can't hear her.
She's not muted, for my.
She probably muted it.
Nope, it's not muted.
It's not muted on our end.
Yeah.
I
mean, Dan, you did tell me to mute her, but I didn't do
it. She must have a feature turned off.
Yeah.
She's working on it.
Yeah.
She's not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's not showing here that it's muted.
Yeah. Yeah, every time it happens to me, it's always something simple. And I'm looking around and I figure it out and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, if you want to start with me, hopefully she'll be able to get this going.
Yeah, she can figure it out. If nothing else, you can always log out, Connie, and then jump back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might work for you too. So
yeah,
if you do that, I'll see when you see, we'll just pull you up in there.
So how's it going? I mean, like we saw each other not too long ago at Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah, that was a busy night, wasn't it? Lot going on. Yeah.
It's cool that we got the opportunity to actually meet and talk and stuff there. So
that was, believe it or not, that was like our first vacation in probably like 4 years. So we've been so busy, stuck at the old park, we really don't go anywhere.
Connie, you've got it muted, Connie. I mean, I can see you muted.
Oh,
yourself.
It is muted. Yeah, it is muted.
She muted herself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See,
I tried to unmute you, but I can't unmute you because you muted yourself.
Oh, wait, there it is, but we still can't hear you.
No, I'm still not hearing her.
No, still not hearing you. So I don't know.
Wow.
It's paranormal.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you try logging out and logging back in?
We can just like make our own words up, like when she's moving her lips.
Yeah,
we can just start saying.
We do mind.
Yeah.
I used to know some sign language years ago, but I don't know I don't know that I pick up on all the things. So yeah, it's been a while.
She's funny. Fortunately, she's downstairs. I'm upstairs, so she's gonna have to figure it out.
No.
She might have to come up and just tell you to scoot over, right? Just like, move over.
Yeah. But anyway,
mind deals.
Anyway, yeah, Wilder was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. That was my first time at Bobby Mackey's. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I had to laugh though. At one point, we were sitting there, getting into everything, watching the stage, and all of a sudden everybody disappeared. We're like, where'd everybody go?
I left. It's like I had to leave at some point because I had to get back here at Rhodes, but so it might have been after that because I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time everybody was on stage when
Yeah.
I was around, but
I was concentrating so much on wanting to see Mackie perform. So we were sitting there, and I guess everybody went outside at that point.
yeah, I missed it. I missed
Right.
I missed all the excitement later on in
Yeah.
the event there, but I had to get back here.
Yeah, good event though. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good getting up there.
Yeah, it's cool that you guys got to get away.
Yeah, you
make the
you
trip
probably
out.
don't get out too often either. That's the thing most people don't realize. When you own a busy location, you never get out unless you have other people to help you run it. You know,
Hello? Can you
Yeah.
that's
hear
kind of the way it is for us. Wait, did
Yeah.
I just hear her?
me? Can you hear
Oh.
me?
I heard a voice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got an echo.
Echo.
It's an echo. Yeah.
We have to throw some headphones
Echo
on.
cancellation. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yay!
There we go.
We're
Okay.
good.
We're good.
All right. It was something with the communications microphone array thing. I don't know.
It was
Yeah.
paranormal.
No, it's more high school teacher stuff because he uses their computer.
Yeah, it's been a long day, but we are so glad that you invited us on, and it's nice to meet you both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
nice
glad to
talking
have
to
you
you.
on. Yeah. So yeah, like why don't you like when you guys like just to start us off, like tell us a little bit about you guys and a little bit about your place.
All right, I'll let Connie start off. She's better with this part.
Well, yeah, we divide up the duties on a regular basis. Dan and I have always been ghost hunters. He's been at it for 30 something years since he was in his 20s. And I only started in 2006, I think. So I've got about 15 of it. I got about half the time that he has. He introduced me. He's the one that showed me everything that I need to know. And we were on several teams together, and we started our own in South Texas. We spent probably, I guess, 5-6 years down in South Texas with our own team, Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. And I was a teacher down there, so we moved to San Angelo to get a little closer to home and to change the job scene. And we both became teachers, and he got his degree. And we kept ghost hunting. So the crazy thing about it is we never stopped ghost hunting. We never wanted to stop ghost hunting. The place just kind of found us. In the meantime, we've been vets. We're both teachers. He did security work as a SP in the Air Force, and I was a military intelligence analyst. Together, our backgrounds are very differentiated. He has 13 years in the insurance industry, private investigations and checking just for basic things. And then for me, we were both paralegals, had researchers on teams. Our background is just, we have a lot of things to kind of throw on the plate that make us pretty unique together. And then when you put us together, we just have this kind of unique perspective. He's more sensitive than I am, and I'm more of the analyst. I'm the one that takes things apart and tears them up and chews on them. And he is very amazing with technique and equipment and everything else. I mean, he's just amazing. Together, we just kind of make this nice little sandwich in a paranormal sandwich. And so when we moved to San Angelo, we continued to ghost hunt. And Dan found this article one day about an antique store in Ballinger, which is about 35 miles between us and Abilene, so east. And so we stopped in one day. She had told us before not to, that she wasn't interested in ghost hunting because everybody and their mom wanted to be there because of an article that was out around Halloween. That's what got Dan's attention. And so he started talking to her, and eventually she said, yeah, you can come on up and just visit. We're not going to do any ghost hunts here. And that day it was rainy. It was the week of Thanksgiving. We had his mom with us. She's German, comes from Germany, and has lived here since she was a naturalized citizen when she was 17. We love her, and she's a big part of that place. That's why we mention her. But she came along with us that day, and it was just an antique store. We walked up the stairs, looked around, and Dan gave me those puppy dog eyes. You know, like, I was like, no. And then we're walking up the stairs, and Jeanette says, I'm selling the place. And Dan just looks at me like, and I was like, no. So I talked him out of it that day. But about a year later, we get this call from Jeanette, and she says, I'm still selling the place, and I'm selling it for half what it's worth, what I originally said, and I'm not selling the antiques in it. And we had recently had a horrible passing of Dan's mom. That's why I brought her up. And that was just a rough couple months because his mom passed away, and then my biological mom passed away, and then my brother-in-law passed away. And it was in that 3-month span that we lost 3 major family members, and it was devastating. So along the way, she left her legacy. She left a small estate, and so we used that to do good in our lives. And there was a little left over, and Dan gave me the puppy dog eyes again. I was like, you know what? It's your mom's, and it's yours. I said, you need to invest it in something that your mom will be proud of, something you love. And he invested it in this place. We never thought in a million years we'd be so lucky to be able to own or say we own a place like that. We were one of the people that snuck around in other people's buildings and said, ooh. Like I could be standing in Robin's building right now, and I'd be like, ooh, Ashmore Estate. Wouldn't it be amazing to own a place like this? And it just kind of fell in our lap, and it picked us. So that's how we got the place in 2016. It has kind of a vast history to it, but I'll try to be quick about it because I'm sure there's other things we want to talk about. But this is the cool part. In June 29th, 1886 is when the town was incorporated. They were in the process of bringing the Gulf, Santa Fe, and Colorado railroads together. They were merging, and they needed a new county seat. It was Runnels City, which was about an hour away from where our location was, maybe 75 miles. And the city was bustling. And then there was this little city called Hutchins that eventually became Gresham. And then they called Ballinger on that day. They approached Runnels City, asked them if they would be interested. Runnels City took a little too long because in the process, they had found a better location in Ballinger where the river was flowing, Contra River, or the Colorado River. And so they ended up choosing Ballinger as the county seat. And on June 29th, 1886, there was between 3,000 and 6,000 single white men standing in the park, and they all purchased more than half the lots that were available that day, and the town just boomed. It was a little epicenter. Everybody was coming there. They said, bring your wagons, throw them on the back. Bring your wagons and throw the houses on the back. Those little, movable houses you could just throw on the back, and we have pictures of them. And they brought them into town, and they started setting up shop. There were like 9 saloons, maybe more, 13 saloons. It was a very rough place with lots of prostitution, lots of gambling, lots of alcohol until 1910 when it went dry for a while. But between the time of 1886 and 1910, there were some prominent families that had moved into town. But originally that place was a town hall meeting house. We believe it was a schoolhouse. It was an antique store, of course, later, and a music store, the kind that you sell jukebox and music in the 50s. It's been a restaurant, and it's been a brothel or a bordello twice. And eventually, and of course, it was a hotel 3 or 4 times. That's the one that seems to be the most prominent. The hotel keeps popping back up because it's about 10,000 square feet, 9,998 square feet to be exact. And it has about 40 rooms in it. And we have about 10 or so where you can stay in. And we're still working on the other ones. It's a labor of love. But the place has just progressed over time. It started out with these prominent families like the Seacrest family. And the Seacrest family moved in around 1914, around that time. Before then, there was a lot of different families that lived there. The Roach family, and then the Rhodes family. Both were single women. One of them had a son, but I believe that's when the brothel was there, we think. In 1910-ish or 12, they had something called the Seacrest Hotel. It was owned by a man named George Spidell, the building was, but the Seacrest family actually was the one running it. And we believe that's when it was a bordel, but we're not quite sure. They called it the Three Sisters Hotel. It was the Three Sisters Hotel and the Seacrest Hotel, and then eventually it became the Royale, and that was a really fancy name. They gussed it up too much. In 6 months, it was already done. They had already sold it to a man. I think his name was Lundgren, and they called it the Park Hotel at that point. It didn't become the Old Park Hotel until much, much later, when the park across the street where the jail is now, which is also a place you can investigate that we've opened up, that is just right across the street, like you were saying with the other one. Mm-hmm. And basically, we have a lot of people coming in now in both places, and but when the Seacrest owned it and they passed it along, it just kept morphing, and they kept adding to the building. In the 1900s, I believe exactly 1900, they added all the concrete to the sides and the back. So it still has the original house from 1886 or so, because we don't know exactly what day, but it also has the extended portion they added on in 1900. We only know this because the records were destroyed before 1905 when the flood hit, and the flood of 1905 wiped out everything, especially the things that were below road level. And this our particular building it's more like it's concrete foundation, but there's it's not a pier and beam. It's just there's nothing there, so the water would just come right up into the building, and it wiped out the court records, the places that we were able to check to see what the history was of the hotel. So it's just a huge mystery that we're still finding out. Famous outlaws that lived in that town were, of course, Sam Bass rode through, Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie grew up only 8 miles from there in Rowena, and she had left there when she was at a young age to go to Dallas. So it wasn't until later that she was coming back and forth visiting her family, and that's when I think she stopped through. Then you also have three very famous prominent outlaws, and they are Manny Clemens, John Wesley Hardin, and Jim Miller, the killer, the deacon. The weird thing about these three is they were related. Manny Clemens had a sister named Sally, and Sally was married to the deacon. John Wesley Hardin was Manny's cousin. So the Hardin family still actually lives in Ballinger, and we talk to them quite often. They're nice people. But they have all this rich history, and that hotel was just the hub. It was right there, right by the courthouse, right next to one of the very first buildings that was ever made there. The Alejandra's is now a restaurant. Back then, it was Adolph Schaub grocery store. So the history is just really rich, and it's just morphed over time with all this death and destruction around it. Right across the street on the other side where the courthouse is, in between where the courthouse is and on the other side from the hotel, Manny Clemens was actually shot in the eyeball right there in Alamo Saloon, and killed in a shootout by the Sheriff Townsend, who took him out. He was a cattle rustler and decided to change his ways. He moved to Ballinger to run for mayor. Well, he didn't get elected. They figured it out, and the sheriff started gunning for him. It didn't take long. In retaliation, the deacon hunted the sheriff down and shot his arm off. They thought he was dead. But the sheriff rounded up a posse, and sometime later they chased him down into Kansas, where they strung him up in a barn. Eventually, he kicked his own barrel out and killed himself. He said he let her rip. He decided the way he was going to go. I believe that's how it went, Dan, right?
Pretty close. It was a bucket.
Bucket. But we have all this history and so many people that we don't know that live there. The Keel family bought the place in 22, and that was right after it was a bordello. And their family lived there for 5 generations. All the rooms are named after the Keel family because we wanted to make sure that the people that used to own the place, at least that we knew, would be remembered, even the Seacrest family who owned the place in the early 1900s. When it went dry in 1910, that's when the town started to clean itself up, and you started seeing things like bordellos going away and more churchgoers out. But the paranormal aspect of the building and the town, which is ginormous, there's many buildings that are haunted. never went away.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Wow.
It's funny because the town, a lot of people in town now try to ignore the fact it was a rough old West town back in the day. It's almost like they sugarcoated it, you know?
Yeah.
Now you guys are doing a lot of events and everything there, and people are coming in to investigate and all.
Yeah, we're very busy right now. A lot of people are coming in. The place produces a lot. It really does. Just this weekend, to give you an example, I had a group Friday night. I had a group Saturday night. A person out of each group saw a little girl apparition in the building each night.
And a ballerina outfit, right?
Yeah. So it's probably the same spirit that appeared, you know, to two different people. And there's a lot of apparition sightings. A lot of people are seeing things.
We have kids there. We have women there. We have gunslingers there. We think we have tourists. And I don't know what it is. It seems like all the evidence points to the people being from the early 1900s, not the older ones, not even the Keel family or the Seacrest family, but the people that stayed there in the early 1900s. We're just getting that because none of the names are really connecting to the families that lived there. They're more connected to people that might have been there or might have lived there. We have gotten Jim Miller EVPs before quite a bit. That seems to be the one that's the most prominent. And there's some cowboys that walk around upstairs, and we think he's one of them. He was a bad dude. Didn't he kill his own grandmother with a 12 gauge shotgun?
Yeah, he's rumored to have killed 200 and something people. His signature weapon was a double barrel shotgun. So it wasn't too hard to figure out that he was connected with all these murders because it does a lot of damage. And he killed his own grandparents when he was about 12 years old with the shotgun. Killed an uncle when he was like 14, shot an uncle off a porch. And then he just kept going on. He was very cocky, and he used to say, if you just paid me, I'll take out anybody. That's the way he was.
And back then, he was a Texas Ranger, and you know as well as I do, the Texas Ranger didn't have the best reputation coming out of the Civil War. So, like, he used that as a crutch, as a way to kind of commit his crimes without being prosecuted. And he seemed to have gotten away with a lot of stuff that he would not have normally gotten away with.
Yeah, she brings up a good point. He tried to mix law in. He tried to make himself look like a lawman at one point. He went to church every Sunday, gave sermons. That's why he had the name deacon. So he always had an alibi. And, you know, finally, like she said, they caught him and 3 other men and strung him up in a barn. They were just like, we're not going to do this again. Now, we don't know why he's in the building. We think maybe it could have a connection with the brothel. He might have been staying there. We really don't know. But we do know he is there. The Kling brothers, who had the show Ghost Lab years ago, investigated our place and did an episode. And they were one of the first to pull out the evidence that he's there and Manny's there and several other people.
I thought Barry and Brad had been out there because I remember talking to him about something like that. But yeah, they're good friends of mine. In fact, I was just talking to Barry just a couple days ago. And, when we bought the place, the former owner, one of the first things she told us was that the place was haunted by as many as 30 spirits. And when she told us that, you know, being a paranormal investigator, you know, having investigated before, it's not that I didn't believe her, but I was a little skeptical. I was kind of like 30. You know, I basically told her, I said, I need to see that. I said, I need to see that over time. The funny thing is, after 6.5 years, I'm starting to think she might be right because there's a lot in that building.
There's more than 30.
Yeah, there's many different sightings of many different people.
We get so many names all the time. Now, you know, of course, the paranormal is very subjective. So, like, you can't prove anything, but we do tend to have a lot of the same, not the same people, but the same thing pop up from different people all the time. Psychics, investigators, people that just go look up stuff. It's all like the same information. Yeah. We think the children are there because we think there was a connection to the brothel and the jail across the street, and also it was a school briefly. So, man, there could be lots of kids there, but we get a lot of kid apparitions.
Yeah.
And of course, we hear a lot of women in the hallway gaggling. And when they ask questions about the brothel in a suggestive kind of way, they get a lot of activity back. Like that seems to be the main thing that you'll get if you go there and you act provocative and you ask a couple ghostly innuendos. You're going to get a lot of feedback from that.
Yeah, a lot of women that come to the place, a lot of them are touched very provocatively. They'll just come up to us all of a sudden. They'll be like, "This happened, that happened," and most of the time we're just like, "Wow," you know.
So if you're feeling lonely, you should check out the Olde Park Hotel there.
Yeah, a little bit of funneling going on there.
Yeah,
so
we always tell people
funneling every time, but every once in a while you might get lucky.
Yeah, we've people have even gotten EVPs. We've gotten EVPs. It sounds like cowboys are drunk. It sounds like brothel women are drunk. It's kind of funny when you think of ghosts being drunk, but they do sound like they are.
We think so.
Yeah.
And we get, of course, the boots walking, the doors rattling. We hear voices upstairs. For me, you know what the most unnerving part of it is? And I think Dan has his own unnerving moments. But for me, it's the moments when we're not even there. We're not even in the building. And we turn on the audio and the camera just in the hallways. That's the only place we have them. Just to see, what's going on. Because we don't put cameras in people's rooms or any of that stuff. It's just, and it's only when we turn it on, we don't record it all the time. So like when we're not there, we'll check on the building, turn it on, and we hear the most the crazy noises, just people talking, growling. Like, can you imagine an old man throwing a fit and walking around saying, it kind of sounds like that. And some of them aren't very nice. And there's been a couple times we've taken pictures back there, blowing them up, and there's people standing there. You're like, and it just doesn't make sense to us. The only thing we could come up with is that we think it's a portal. We think in the very back, on the second floor in the back, next to the window in the hall, is a big old portal there. And we think they're coming and going, and they're leaving at certain times of the day, and it's all at once. And if you don't make the jump, you're stuck there overnight till the next group comes through.
We get mist that forms back there. People have sometimes thought I had a fog machine going. I'm like, there's no fog machine.
It's about sunset and sunrise. It happens twice.
It starts getting really, really hazy, and then it forms up, and then you see figures in it. It's pretty creepy sometimes.
See, we had a theory when we saw that picture in the back. That's what I'm talking about. We had a theory. We're like, let's go set up some EMF detectors all the way down and just wait. And this was an experiment we conducted several times. We set them up and we waited till sunset, and we waited and we stayed put. And then all of a sudden, all the lights on the EMF meter lighted up all the way down in succession, all at once. And then as soon as they got there, as soon as it was gone. Mm-hmm. But it happens in the morning too. So we just have a theory that we think there's a portal and it's a time jump. We think they're moving in and out of either buildings or other locations to get where they want to go.
Maybe they're just checking out the hotel.
I think they're there first. Yeah.
Yeah, we think that might be what it is. Psychics have told us there's some that are there all the time. There's others that are coming and going. We come to find out Ballinger's pretty haunted. The courthouse, everything around us is haunted. They got something going on.
Wow. Yeah, but the events, we always have dual gel events, and then we have public events where people come, celebrities come here and there. And we have paranormal overnight lockdowns. We only charge like $50 and they can stay in a room, and we take them on a ghost hunt. We feed them snacks. We watch movies. We have a movie room. We have a kitchen. We have a museum. We have a gift shop. And then we have about 10 rooms you can actually stay in. 8 of those are fully remodeled. The other 2 are still working on it. But that's where we're at on those.
So you guys have been doing a lot of work then.
We're trying.
Yeah. I'm sure we're doing it for the same reasons you guys are. It's about keeping these places around. Like when we bought it, I wasn't looking to buy a building. We weren't out searching. I was just curious, to see it. And like Connie said earlier, it fell in our lap. The owner even told us a year after we bought it, had a conversation with her one day, and she was like, they wanted you to have it, which was creepy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like,
She said they
A
talked to
little
her.
bit.
She was
Yeah.
psychic.
She
so
was like, she's like, the spirits wanted you to have it, you know. Because I guess she had other people that wanted to buy it, but she didn't want to sell it to them. And then, of course, we got it, and then we had to figure out what do we do with it now, because things were happening to us, things were happening to our friends from the very beginning, and that's where we got the whole idea, you know.
just a
And
ghost hunt, maybe
yeah,
to offset the mortgage or something every once in a
yeah,
while.
and
We
really,
hadn't planned on electricity or water or any of those things. And we're just like,
yeah, we really, you know, we don't make a whole lot off that building. We really don't. People think location owners are rich. It's not like that. You know,
it's a
we
bottomless pit.
yeah, it's just constantly taking money for projects and renovation and uh, repairs. Like a few years ago, we lost all our pipes. You know, when we went down to 0 degrees, so we had to
Yeah.
repair all the pipes. We've had to repair like a lot of wires.
And then the windows broke
Yeah.
through with the hailstorm. We still haven't
Yeah.
repaired those.
Yeah, one of our rooms got bombarded by a huge hailstorm. We still
And
haven't
the
been able to
hallways
repair
too.
that.
There's about
So,
10 windows we've got to replace.
yeah.
So
And part of it is now we have a hard time finding the time to do the repairs because we're so busy. You know, it's like you got to make a decision. You're like, do we shut down, you know, for a month to get all this, you know, these things done? But then you're losing business, you know, and people want to come in. So,
and we
it's
work
all,
full-time jobs. Both of us
yeah,
are high school teachers. So like we never have any other time to do anything.
yeah,
That's why it's important to get out to things like Bobby Mackey's and stuff.
Mhm.
That was
yeah,
the first time, Mike. That was the first time in 6 years that Dan and I have done anything other than stay at that hotel.
yep,
So, you know, we are trying to get out more. We're trying to go to other owners' locations and support them as well. So that's our goal.
A lot of events.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, brings us to what we talked about, Mike. Do you want to like discuss that a little bit?
Let's do. I'll let you lead the way with all that. Yeah. Let's.
All right. Well, for anybody watching, me and Mike had a discussion back at Bobby Mackey's. We talked afterwards, and we are going to host a fundraiser at the Olde Park for the Lost Limbs Foundation in 2023. We haven't set a date yet, but we'll set all the details and get you down here. And I think that'd be a really great event to raise some funds.
And we're not taking money for the rental, and every penny that we get is going to go towards your foundation. Everything.
Everything. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It'll
Yeah.
be
We could
a
even
fun
set up
time.
something where, Mike, you have the link and it just goes directly to you to pay.
Yeah.
That might work too.
Yeah, we can set up the tickets where you get it directly, however you want to do it. So
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I
Yeah.
just, you know, I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
wanting to do that. Yeah, and you know, I've been excited to like wanting to be able to say something about. I made a post on Facebook a little while back, and I was
Say it.
just
You
like,
can say it.
hey, so next year, you know, looking at going back to the old ways, because like that's when I started the charity. That's what we did. We would go to different locations and bring some of the guys from the shows in, whatever, and you know, they would investigate with us. We'd raise money for the charity, and so I kind of hinted at things, you know, and I put it out there, and a lot of people were just like, "Oh, let us know when, you know, we're at." And I'm just
No,
like,
we were thinking maybe something, maybe March, because that's spring break, and we do have. I think we do have preliminary promotions coming up, but like we can pick another day.
March is a good month, you know, anything in there.
It's still cold in the building.
Yeah,
but
it's real comfortable.
better
You
than
don't have to
being
run ACs or anything. So
yeah,
it feels pretty good. We'll let you decide, you know, what you want to do with
yeah,
that.
we'll figure
talk
it
more.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we'll
just
talk some
check our calendar dates and
Yeah.
pick something,
Okay.
and just let us know, and we'll mark it off.
Yeah.
We'll help you get going.
So there, the listeners is
Yeah.
got some new information to
Yeah.
run with there. That what we're up to.
Now, what larger cities are you guys close to?
We're smack. Well, Ballinger's smack dab between San Angelo and Abilene, about 40 something miles. But if you look at the major cities, San Antonio's just 3 hours to the
East.
south of us, which is a skip and a jump. Dallas is only 3 hours, which is a skip and a jump. And Austin, 3 hours. We
2
get
hours
people.
from Midland.
Yeah, people come from Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. We pull everybody from all those cities, and lately, we've been pulling everybody from all over the country. So everybody's coming down now.
Well, and I think with our rooms, if you sold tickets for 2 to a room, you could probably sell more rooms. We do it by room more so than by the person, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, a lot of people who come in for events. A lot of times they'll fly into Dallas, rent a car, and drive from Dallas to our location, which goes pretty. It's pretty easy. Or you can even catch a commuter flight into St. Angelo or Abilene from
we have an
Dallas.
international
American
airport.
Airlines comes in. Yeah. So,
yeah, you know where the X is in Texas on the map? That's where we're at.
We're like right on it.
Right there. Right, like right there in the middle of the X, right there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do something. It'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, especially after you guys talking about the place and the history and stuff down there. I mean, that would be so
you know what's weird about it, Mike and Robin? You know what's weird about it is when you walk in, it's like you're walking back in time. It's every room is decorated in its own way. And you're stepping back, like you look around, there's Indians and cowboys, and there's those swinging brown doors, and the old fixtures. Everything's just really like you're stepping back in. It's the Wild West. That's what it is.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do. We take every dollar. I'm sure you guys do it the same. Every dollar, figure out how we can use it. When we do have a little bit extra left over, we figure out, what antique piece of furniture, what antique thing we can get in. Have a lot of friends who are antique dealers. So every time they find something really cool, they contact me. I usually get in first dibs on some pretty good stuff. So
yeah, right now we have some structural things we've got to focus on.
Yeah.
Less antiques, more structural.
Yeah, more structural.
Fixing windows, fixing light fixtures, fixing fans, and some electrical sockets need to be fixed.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. Oh yeah, and the hole in the ceiling from the winter storm, and the pipes burst, and the water went through. We have to fix that too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been an uphill climb the last 2 years because of all that damage, but we finally got to that point. So
I'm not sure if this is Sean or Shane, but it was a pretty good question. I'll let you guys answer in your area, and then let Mike answer if he knows it that way.
To basically answer that question, it depends where you're at. Every local municipality runs things differently. I've noticed that all around the country. Some towns, some cities are a lot stricter on different things than other places are. We're lucky because we're best friends with the judge. So
let me tell you how that works, because I have a lot of experience in this area, even though Dan has the business degree. You can, as long as you own the building or you rent out the building, you can get an assumed name certificate at your local city, and you can run a business out of it. Really, anybody can do it if you have an assumed name. Everybody always thinks there's all this paperwork you have to fill out to run a business. Nope. You just file it with your taxes as a sole proprietor. You pay your franchise taxes and your property taxes, and anybody can run a business, even if you don't even own the business, as long as you have an agreement with the person that owns the building.
She brings up a good point. We get taxed to death. I'm sure you guys probably do too.
Property tax, franchise.
Yeah, we pay so much tax, it's not even funny. Yeah.
Luckily, here we don't have to worry about that, since the charity technically owns Rhodes Hotel.
That is nice.
That's funny, because when I went in and talked to the board and the through the county and stuff, I went in there just like, are we reading this right? What is going on with that building? And I'm just like,
oh no,
you're reading it right, and they're just like, it's that haunted. And I'm like, you want to come find out? And hang out.
Why don't you tell me? Why don't you come stay?
You're just like me. I'm like, come on in and you tell us.
You're not gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone over just like, we're good. You're good. Do what you need to do.
I think a lot of depending, like you said, about the locations, because it depends on the zoning. If the location is zoned certain ways or not. I mean, out here,
different states, cities. Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest problem I ran into out here is that the place was such bad shape that everybody hated the owners of this place
Oh,
because they just
Wow.
let the place fall apart. They weren't worried
Yeah.
about trying to do anything. And
our
I mean,
building
it
at
was
one
nice
time
though.
became derelict too. It was way back in
Yeah.
the 70s. We
Way
were
back.
lucky they didn't demolish it, you know.
Yeah, I went from one year to the next, and the next year, the first year, one of the farmer that owns all the property around me came over and was complaining to me about stuff. The next year, he came over and told me how wonderful things were. So,
Yeah.
So you must be a very good
turn around.
property owner
Yeah.
now when it comes to see Ashmore Estates.
Yeah, we've
it's-
always wanted to come up. It's just finding the time. But now we're gonna make time. That's
Our
kinda how
goal
we are.
is buy a camper next year and then go everywhere. Everywhere. Because see, during the week we don't get a lot of bookings and we're teachers. So guess what we get to do in the summer? Yep.
There you go.
We're gonna come see everybody.
Yeah. And then, like what Robin was saying, and you guys were talking about that. Like when Robin took over, I tell everybody this story. I was there the day he got the keys. When he unlocked the door and went in, I was like on my crutches, like moving sideways because you only had like a little bit of space in the hallways to get through it. I had to turn sideways to go on crutches and stuff. And now
Wow.
it's amazing how much it's changed the work that he's put into the place. It's
If
crazy.
you only knew
Yeah.
what that place looked like when we first opened it. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Same thing with us. It's been a labor of love.
There was
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of shelves of antiques
Yeah.
everywhere.
I could have dealt with that. We had
Well, she
hundreds and
took
hundreds
2
of
years.
tons of crap. So,
She
Yeah.
spent 2 years getting her stuff out. We let her keep
Wow.
her stuff in that building for 2 years
Wow.
because we're nice.
But ultimately, it's the vision.
hmm
You learn to look past all that. And see what's there. Because what it really amounts to is history. Being the first thing, and then the paranormal comes in the second.
Yeah.
well, Mike, we're getting closer to the end of the hour here, but since you got two people, you got to ask questions of.
Yes.
So you better toss those in there.
I have my question that I ask everyone, every person that comes onto the show, and if you could investigate any place in the world, where would you go?
Any place in the world. Wow.
Any place in the world.
Dan likes to. Don't you like Penhurst Asylum? Isn't that
No,
where you
well, Trans Allegheny's always
Oh,
been on my
that's what you were
list.
saying.
It's always been at the top of my bucket list, probably. But for me, it's hard to narrow it down. I mean,
Mhm.
because every place has its uniqueness
Yeah.
that I've ever seen. You can't pin the word haunted on just any location and expect the same stuff to happen there. Every haunting's different and every location is different. So
For me,
I
I have one location. Is not a lot of people know about it because it was only on Ghost Adventures once. But every time I think about that place and see it, it makes my hair just cringe. And the Ram Inn, that place creeps me out. I want to go there, but I know that place is evil. Why? I don't know that, but it looks kind of scary. But yeah, I'd like to visit there. I wouldn't mind going to some of the European, because I lived in Germany and I feel real comfortable, running around over there. So I would love to go see maybe Dracula's castle and
That would be cool.
just go see some of these places that are overseas, because I'm looking forward to catching up on all the places here. We were just talking about going to McIntyre Villa. We just met Stephanie O'Reilly. She's such a sweet person. And that's on the list now to go. Waverly Hills will always be on the list. Bobby Mackey's, when we're there and we're investigating, that would be a nice place to go back to, because we didn't get a chance to really do our thing. And I was babysitting Nick's purse, so get it, Nick's purse.
And Robin, your place has always been on my list. And Mike, now that I see, I have to admit, I started looking at your place a lot more after we talked, and it really has me intrigued now.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to go after we get off here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check it out.
Well, we're only 2.5 hours apart.
Really?
Yeah. 2.5 hours for me to get over there.
Right.
And Mike, where are you at right now? Which location?
I'm at Rhodes Hotel.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. This
Gotcha.
this wall in my room here is actually the back outer wall of the hotel.
Nice.
Oh wow!
So
Oh wow!
yeah.
Okay.
When we tore
Very
that
cool.
room apart, when we were doing the work there, I looked at that wall and I'm like, I don't know if he's into this old stuff like this or not, but I'm like, that wall's got to stay. We just have to. In fact, all we did was we just took and polyurethane over it because it's
Yeah.
so cool.
Just to
with-
seal it up.
We still have burlap ticking kind of sticking on our wood
Yeah.
in our building from, I don't know, that wood's like 400 years old. They brought in wood from Runnels City and the wood that was already there, huge panels like this.
Some of that wood breaks screws when I try to drill in. It just snaps the screws.
Still has some square nails in it.
Yeah.
That's how old it is. Crazy.
It's almost petrified, you know.
No wonder it doesn't come down for tornadoes or anything.
Yeah.
But we just believe in supporting all of our fellow owners of these paranormal locations. We love all of you, and we believe that we should be helping everyone, no matter where you're at or what location you're at. And we're always going to help promote your business. And we hope that we can have a good relationship in the future and to be there for the rest of the paranormal community that wants to be in on it. There are some places that don't really want the mix, but we're very happy to promote and help others.
Yeah, we've done the same thing. In fact, I've got a rack right outside the wall out here that has all kinds of location flyers.
Oh man,
nobody's going to go to one location, and they're
Right.
going to go to multiple. So, in fact, I've had a lot of venue owners that In fact, I was up when we were up in Michigan a couple weeks ago. I asked the guy across from us there. I said, "Can I get some of your flyers when you're done? Because I can take it back to put in my building." He's like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, we just don't have a problem promoting other locations or anything." He's like, "Oh, okay." So so I got a bunch of them, brought them out here and stuck them in. So
I've got a friend named Ashley Storm who has a building is it Tyler, honey?
Broken Bow. It's in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay.
Broken Bow Asylum.
And I'm trying to help her get the word out because she's an amazing person, and I can't wait to go visit that location as well as back into your villa. So I'm just trying to get the word out to all of our friends. We have a place called the Lavaca Jail, just a few hours that way, where our friends also own that location. So, we're all in this together. We're all one big paranormal community, and we got to take care of each other and be kind. And no, we don't live in the building, but it feels like it sometimes. We do have our own room.
I've stayed in the building 3 days in a row, and it drains your energy. I don't think I could be in the building any longer than 3 days.
I don't think either one of us have ever stayed in the building more than 3 days.
Even Nick, when he was there filming Deathwalker, he was so drained after 2 days, he said. Yeah.
But we actually love the building and think we could live there. We do have extreme cold and extreme heat, though. So, like, if you're not prepared for that, then you'll just shrivel up.
Yeah.
But the way that we do things is we make it very comfortable. In the hallways and in the front, it's hot, it's cold. But in your rooms, we have air conditioners, we have heaters, we have air conditioners up front, and we have a friend named Dylan that's going to help us put in a ductless system up there next year. So that'll really help out with the heat and the cooling. But it's just a very old building. It has really deep ceilings, so the heat rises and the cold stays down here. But it's just you just have to learn to live in a building like that. We could live in a building like that. We could, but as long as we work in San Angelo, I don't think that's going to happen right now. We drive about 35 minutes to Ballinger every time we go out.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's not bad.
Well, before we go, do you guys want to tell like your events that's coming up and where people can find you and all that stuff?
I'll let Dan do that.
Yeah, we actually have a really good event coming up Saturday, October 1st. We have Chad Lindbergh, done a lot of things. We've known Chad for years. This is his 4th visit to the Olde Park. He loves the place. Something always happens to him. But anybody doesn't know Chad, he's been in Fast and Furious. He's done a lot of different movies, television. He's also got a really cool announcement he's going to be making somewhere along the way. Of course, it's top secret, but we'll see. But anyway, we can't wait to have him back. All the VIPs have sold on that one, but there's general admission that's available.
We have a Flumeri coming up in March, but we don't know who that's going to be with yet.
Yeah. And of course, we'll be talking about your event, and we have some others that we're going to be announcing too in 2023. Different people I'm talking with. But anyway, we're all over the internet. We're all over Facebook. It's real easy. Just Google Olde Park Hotel, OLDE, and you'll find anything you're looking for. Our website comes up first.
Yeah, we always encourage everybody to actually push the buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a booking calendar on there. Everybody always
find what you want.
Everybody always seems to miss it, and they don't realize how busy we are. And I've already turned down several people for September and October because we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So
we're booked all the way out most of November and then part of December. And then we have January and a March and a February.
Yeah, we've already booked several in 2023. So
it's about 5 months out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be like right there, and now it's 5 months out. So.
Yeah, well, it's been fun having you guys on. I can't wait to get down there.
Thanks
we can't wait to have you down for sure. Robin, maybe we can get you down somewhere along the way so you can check it out, because I know we're going to come up and see you.
Yeah,
to see what's going on when Mike set the event down there and see when dates are and everything.
Yeah,
I know in April I'm going to actually, you mentioned St. Albans. I'll be out speaking at an event in April out at St. Albans. So,
nice.
I'm going to return out there. I've been out there a couple times, so it'll be my third trip.
That's awesome.
Very awesome.
Hopefully this time I can keep out of trouble. So.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds you, I forgot to say, we're going to be at Atlanta next week in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
It's our first Paracon in probably 10 years, so we're pretty excited.
We'll have some of Dan's books out there. He just released a new book called Fear is Just a Word. And it's stories from the Olde Park Hotel from the people that actually stayed there. And we're going to have shirts and some OPH sugar scrubs and stuff like that out there. So should be fun.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Hope you have fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be a blast, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, again, we appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be talking soon.
Yeah, I can't wait till we can get those details and
we'll
get that event out to people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best wishes to you, Mr. Robin Terry at Ashmore Estates. And thanks again, Mike. We look forward to working an event with you in the future.
Yeah. Right. We'll get this set up soon.
Yep.
Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, have a good night. Yeah. Have a good night. We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It was fun.
Yeah. Almost.
Good time.
When it popped up, almost removed you from the sign, from here. So
yeah.
But,
I would just jump back on, been like, he kicked me off.
Next week, Erin Taylor. I don't think you've met Erin.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, she's wrote a new book, and she'll talk about that next week. But she's been out to Ashmore. She was involved with Richard Estep when he did the Gacy deal at the theater.
Okay.
And then she was also out here when he spent the time out here, 3 days out here at Ashmore. So she might talk about some of her experiences from those two events also, especially the one with the Gacy situation there at the theater, because I pretty much stayed away from that entire thing. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, we got to talk a little bit. It was more. She was kind of telling me about her book that's coming out and stuff, and
right.
Yeah. So that'll be cool.
But yeah, sounds good. Well, I'm going to get out of here.
Yep. Same here.
It's been a long day for me, so.
Oh yeah.
So.
You are a very, very busy man. We hardly talk during the week. It's like. Or the weekends throughout the week, like this is our time to talk. Like when we're doing
if I'm traveling, that's about it sometimes. So.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, good night, everybody. We will see you here next week. Same bat time.
Thanks for tuning in. Yep.
All righty.
Night, guys.
My name is Mike, and I'm the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. The Lost Limbs Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides assistance to amputee children in need of prosthetics. I started the charity after my own struggles after my leg being amputated just above the knee. Prosthetics cost thousands of dollars, and the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years on a prosthetic. Kids are constantly growing, so they'll go through multiple prosthetics throughout their life. This is the prosthetic leg that I use, and the cost was about $70,000. The Rhodes Hotel is in Atlanta, Indiana, and is owned and operated by the Lost Limbs Foundation. We are currently doing photo shoots, ghost hunts, and special events to help raise money for the charity. For more information, you can go to lostlimbsfoundation.org. With your help, we can help these kids one step at a time.